Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you the news you need to know and the knowledge you need to use it. Thursday, January 9th, 11 p.m. Mountain Time 2019. The big story is that the warmth the alarmists are claiming on the east is about to come to an end in a big way. Just like solar cycle 24 has ended with a major spot in the upper latitudes here, so sunspot 2756, AR 12,756 beta CRO is the end of solar cycle 24 and the beginning of 25. Snow in Florida on the models. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Are you serious? Keep calm, it's boom time. Mountain glaciers 1, climate hysterics 0. We reported on this yesterday. Montana's Glacier National Park is removing signs erected more than a decade ago, which predicted the complete decimation of the park's glaciers by now. As the glaciers build and the temperature drops to minus 40 degrees over the coming days. It's insane. Winter storm watch just issued for 23 Michigan counties earlier today in southern and central Michigan. Now the entire state is covered with those warnings. There is not a single county left out. Severe weather this weekend could bring snow, ice, and dangerous tornadoes, as well as very blurry conditions. Oh, can we get rid of this? Please. Thank you. An intense and dangerous severe weather system with the potential for strong tornadoes, a paralyzing ice storm, and heavy snow will unfold Friday into Saturday in parts of the central and eastern U.S. This promises to be one of the most significant systems you've ever seen, bringing extreme southern weather and winter weather together with just 150 miles between the two. NOAA's Storm Prediction Center has issued outlooks indicating a significant risk of severe weather for the eastern half of Texas, eastward through the deep south and lower Mississippi Valley. The term severe weather is defined as you're fluxed if you're in Shreveport. Hello. A powerful Pacific jet stream slamming into the west coast will dig far south, using that meridional flow, the breakdown of the jet stream, the solar minimum, the grand solar minimum, the magnetic reversal, and anything else it can get its hands on to power this summer storm through the winter here. The trajectory will form a trough, driving cold air southward through the Rockies, while at the same time a seesaw launching warm and moist air from the Gulf northward into the southeast ahead of the developing winter blizzard. It is going to be amazing, according to Jeff Bardelli. More importantly, let's look at this. Look at how cold it is here. Look at how hot it is here. 150 miles difference from 20 degrees to 70 degrees. That is going to add insult to injury. The threat for severe thunderstorms will begin Friday afternoon in a large area stretching from Oklahoma City south to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin, Texas. The threat is for both a solid squall line of thunderstorms near the developing front. This is awesome. Like, I've never used squall so much in my life. It's getting me crazy. Look at how the sign's all crooked. That's awesome. Oh my God, I'm going blind. There we go. As the event unfolds, it appears East Texas and Louisiana will be vulnerable to the most threatening weather Friday afternoon and evening. Check the map. I mean, it is not looking good. Future radar. Look at this. For Saturday, 3 a.m. That is a summer thunderstorm line. It's going to be happening in the winter. Looks like from Houston to Little Rock, there's very little chance of you not escaping this. You're going to be crushed, pummeled by a line of storms that quickly moves through Texarkana, Lufkin, Alexandria, Lake Charles, Greenville. It's coming. By Saturday afternoon and evening, the severe line of thunderstorms will be moving eastward through Tennessee, Mississippi, southeast Louisiana, and Alabama. Cities from Nashville to Birmingham, hello! Alabama to New Orleans will experience brief but powerful storms, power outages, and big booms, and other things exploding. I can't even make it up. British Museum denies fossil fuel hypocrisy and unveils treasures freed from the melting Arctic ice as it's funded by the fossil fuel industry. And that's because they know better. Of course, we've been warming since the last glacial maximum, and we expect things to drop out of these glaciers, which they have. Over the last 10,000 years, since sea levels have risen catastrophically 400 feet in just a few hundred years, things are changing. But we're now going into a cooler regime and a cooler world. So come check out the data. Pacific Northwest to remain bullseye for storm next week, but with a twist. It's going to be cold. Remember all those times I kept saying Seattle's going to get snow? Ha! They are! The parade of storms that has been marching across the Northwest through early January is expected to continue right into the middle of January, and then past then, and then past that, all the way into March and April. Wait until you see what the East Coast gets covered with through March. We're predicting 3 blizzards into the spring. I just said it. And please call me on it. And we're going to count them down as they occur. Snow will spread across the intermontane west at the end of the week as another storm will already be taking aim at the Pacific Northwest. Snow spreads Thursday night through Friday in the blue regions. To make it easy for you, slippery travel, reduced visibility, and snow in the form of white flakes falling from the sky. Rain will spread along the coast of Washington and Oregon through the day on Friday. Warmer air will surge north into the northwest when the arrival of the storm, limiting snow to the highest levels, but these will drop rapidly. Snow levels will begin falling Friday through Saturday with localized flooding, falling snow levels, windy at the coast, snow in major passes, travel disruptions, power outages, and no bread, milk, and other on the shelves of the markets. So you better hope the power comes back on for this one. Hello, Boise. Enough moisture and cold air with the storm will even bring snow showers into some of the valleys across the Northwest, including areas around Boise. Didn't I just say that? Where 1 to 3 inches of snow could fall. Snow totals will easily climb a foot to a foot or two in the highest elevations of the Cascades. 6 feet predicted over the next 5 or 6 days. It's insane. Thursday, the calm before the storm. Heavy snow Friday, all day Friday. Light snow Friday morning, heavy snow in the afternoon and evening, difficult travel in the commute in the blue regions. Spokane, you're smacked. Snow accumulations, 1 to 3 feet. Oh, look at that over there on the coast of the most with the schmost. 3 to 6 in Omak. Grand Coulee could pick up to half a foot, as well as Ritzville, Spokane, and Sandpoint, which could get up to a foot, by the way. Kellogg, I love those Rice Krispies, 8 inches. Or a Fino, just a sprinkling. Or a tinkling, however you want to look at it. I love looking at graphs and models and maps. Spring-like temperatures could surge across the east this weekend. Global warming, climate change. 30 degrees above normal. It's insane. These people are going to blame it all on Al Gore and you. This is going to last for like a blip, a second, a tippy touch, a minuscule moment in the history of the non-historicals. After this warm stretch, the next 8 to 12 weeks are going to be a nightmare for the East Coast, even Florida. And I can't wait to pick up what I put down later in February. Stormy Friday on tap before the region goes into an ice box. Hello, Seattle. I got this from your newspaper. Windstorms, snow events, and flooding rains are usually the 3 main types of winter storms Western Washington usually deals with. Well, Mother Nature is set to check all 3 boxes this month. And you're going to freeze your off in just a moment. Heads up, Seattle. It's going to get darker than usual. Dangerous storm system heading to Lansing. We love you, Top Knot. According to the Weather Channel, the Lansing area could see 3 to 5 inches of snow and ice accumulations on Saturday. There's a chance we could see another inch of snow and ice accumulation Saturday night. Ice. It's not going to be good in the wintry mix zone, where up to 3 inches of ice are predicted for some areas. I can't even make this up. Depends on the sources, but it's just like horses. Each of them are equally unique and are very dangerous. 2 killed, 5 injured at avalanche at Idaho ski resort. We reported on 1 dead and 3 injured yesterday, but there are two killed. This was a significant avalanche, and the other person wasn't with any of the groups, and they didn't know who it was, and they're no longer living. 2 people were killed, 5 injured in an avalanche at Idaho ski resort on Tuesday, and we covered it yesterday, so we're not going to go into that. But 1 more death has been ticked on the box. Now here we have some open snow forecast. Big time snow with 5+ feet for the west. Here's the accumulated snow forecast for Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Between 7 feet, 4 and 7 feet predicted through the weekend, 15th of January. Hello. Excellent. If you're going to Jackson Hole, you're going to have a banner weekend, as long as you don't get buried by an avalanche. Hello. British Columbia is going to be the big winner, Northwest as well. Then the Northern Rockies are going to pick up the 9th through the 10th. That's the next 24 hours. And then Saturday through your Sunday, British Columbia will continue to get pummeled, as well as the Northwest, which will be the big winner, picking up 2 to 4 additional feet over the weekend. And then that big blizzard moves up and through Canada and the Midwest in the Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then here you are Monday through your Wednesday, going to continue to snow throughout the entire Rockies with some minor snow up in the Canadian Shield. And then it gets cold, folks. So here's your warm respite down in the southeast from now until the 20th. But that will be the funniest day of your life, because after that, it's going to get cold. Let's check out the analyzer, a.k.a. the snowfall analyzer, over at NOAA, where we can see in the last 24 hours, 6 to 12 inches falling in Oregon as well as Washington. But the big winners, Oregon and Wyoming. We have some moderate to heavy snow, 8 to 10 inches in the Dax, as well as New Hampshire and Vermont. And if we look at the 48-hour totals, what are they telling us? Let's check it. You know I have my new 5G blocker on. Absolutely no one is manipulating my thoughts right now because of the advanced technology in my hat, which protects my entire spinal cord, by the way. And no blue light getting in. So I'll be able to sleep like a baby in just a few hours. Hello, 48-hour totals in Montana, 3 to 4 feet in some regions. All the links will be below for you to check out and peruse. Now let's go to weather.gov for your watches and warnings in your county. And you can see here how Michigan has lit up. The entire state is covered in winter storm watches and warnings as of now. A potent storm to affect the Midwest, South, and East. The beast is unleashed. A large multi-hazard storm is forecast to impact the plains and Midwest starting today, shifting to the East Coast by early Sunday. Widespread severe thunderstorms with damaging wind and tornadoes are expected across the South. Heavy rain and flooding are possible from the plains to the Mississippi and Ohio valleys. Heavy snow and ice will lead to dangerous travel from the plains to New England. And there's your forecast. Remember, go to weather.gov. We are Weather Ready Nation ambassadors at the Oppenheimer Ranch Project for NOAA, who doesn't absolutely know that we think they're a fraud, but they made us Weather Ready ambassador, Weather Ready Nation ambassadors anyway. Say that 5 times fast. You can see the number of winter storm watches and warnings here through the Midwest, up through Iowa, and flood watches and warnings all the way from Texas to the next to the Schmexes up through Ohio. And these flood warnings will move east with the winter storm warnings and watches moving with them along the front line. That's a lot to pick up, what I just put down. And we have 22 tabs open, and we've been in too deep. Here's the cold weather pattern that's going to move across the country and end that warmth right there. And that will be Monday, January 13th. It'll stay warm through Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday is your lose day. That's the last 80 degrees you're going to see right there for a while. As this system on Friday, January 17th, dumps down into the southeast, and that cold line is going to continue to stay there. Take a look. Second wave, pushing that freezing temperature all the way down into Mexico, Monday, January 20th, which is the funniest. That's when the snow's going to start in Florida. Here we see January 21st, the entire eastern half of the country freezing, not getting above freezing, even in Florida. It's just a model, but it's one I believe in. And we have two snowfall models coming out here. We're looking at the GEM total snowfall, which is the CMC, and that's the Canadian mountain, which is a little better for northern storm. So these totals are going to be more accurate, which still look devastating in the west. We're talking like 6 to 10 feet of snow through January 20th in the west coast, and that is the blizzard that's moving through right now. If we come to look at the GFS model, it shows a little heavier snow, but we'll get a little better idea because this is a regional forecast on what's happening in the next 5 days. There's your Saturday. Let's go through Friday right there. Light snow moving in west of the Rocky Mountain front. Heavy snow in that little spot there in Arizona. And then there's your Saturday night as this storm develops. Dumping snow into Texas, the schmexis of the nexus there, as well as Okie, a little bit in Nebraska, Arkansas, and Missouri is going to pick up the brunt of this baby as it moves up through Illinois, a little northern Indiana, and Top Knots region is really going to get pummeled by these models. Take a look at the GFS models moving forward. And hello! Florida snow! Oh, say it ain't so. 4 inches right there. 8 to 10 on the St. Augustine coast in this model. Wow. January 25th could be a record breaker. Not to mention the fact that the glove over there in Michigan is looking for some love on that glove. Northern Maine is insane as well. You guys are going to be buried and may need help from the National Guard. National temperature and precipitation maps are out for the year from NOAA. And you can see we've been cosmic ray fluxed. The precipitation maps showing above or record rain for the entire country, which is good for people in drought-stricken areas. And the temperatures, well, the southeast is coming up in the clear here, where you're much above or at average or higher than average for the entire year. But the rest of the country, not so much. Near average, below average, much below. No record coldest, but much below average for the most of the country for the year, which is what? The hottest year ever, I think. While much of the country is below average. It's the hottest year ever. According to NOAA, who made us Weather Ready Nation ambassadors, because they have no clue, by the way. Teen snowboarders stranded in Canadian ski resort just the other day burned their homework to stay alive. It's awesome. And they didn't have much more homework. They made a shelter. They used their homework as kindling to burn the pine, and they lit an awesome fire. Stayed alive, and they were found in the morning. These kids are awesome. They probably watched the show. That's all I can say. That's boom. That's tonight's first boom. 16-year-olds burning their homework to stay alive. Best thing they could have ever done with that homework. In my eyes. Seismic update. One major quake of note, 6.3 in Cholotsky, in Russia, north of the Kamchatka there. With aftershocks, this baby is over. But what the interesting thing about the quake is, now let's go do a little homework. And I'm going to teach you how to do a little research. Because I watched, several people sent me links to other channels that are claiming total nonsense because they have no idea how to read a graph or do any research, which is fine. But the 50,000 people that watch these people, I mean, anyway. I just don't know anyway. So the 6.3 kicked off in Russia at 8:38 UTC. If we come over here to telemetry, we can see 3, 6, and 8:38 UTC right here, a major shift in the phi angle, where it went from Earth to Sun, Sun to Earth, and back again, up and back down, up, straight up, and back down. And that is when the quake occurred, when the phi angle shifted Earth to Sun, Sun to Earth, and back again. That major perturbation in the flow of energy from Earth to Sun, Sun to Earth, and back is this line. So it's Sun to Earth, and then back Earth to Sun, and then back Sun to Earth, and the earthquake happened. Sun to Earth is when we would expect earthquakes down in this area, or right when it crosses the 180. The 180 mark happened to be exactly at 8:36 p.m. or 8:36 UTC. When that line crossed 8:36 UTC, one channel claimed this cosmic ray spike 3.5 hours later caused the earthquake, but you cannot cause an earthquake with an event that happened 3 hours after the event. We call that the law of superposition in science, which means Anyway, getting back to the seismic map, I hope you learn. If you don't understand what I just said, please ask a question. Aftershocks continue in Puerto Rico. Nothing significant related to the 5.1 magnitude in the Dominican, nothing like that. We have moderate activity worldwide. No quakes of note. No activity of note, and nothing predicted anywhere, except solar cycle 25 has begun. As we portended just the other day with the kickoff of that CME up in this upper latitude, we have a new sunspot, 2756, with multiple umbra and a few penumbra here. It is diminishing from its original glory. And if you go over to SolarHam and they show a sunspot and you want to look more, just click on it. See what I just did there? Boom! It was like boom! And you get a blow up of the sunspot. You get the flare probabilities, the name, the number. Sunspot 2756 AR 12756 is now beta, CRO. This is the rating and the type of sunspot. So you have alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, epsilon, pi, chi, psi, omega. Yeah, that's the alphabet they're using. And here's the flare probability: C 5%, M flare 1%, X flare 1%. What you want to look at when you're looking at a sunspot is for magnetic mixing, from red to blue, from negative to positive, and positive to negative. If we saw some red areas in amongst the blue, we would see some extreme mixing, and then it would go from beta to delta, and so on and so forth, until we get an X flare frying our grid. That was your quick sunspot lesson. This site cannot be reached. And there it is, the same sunspot. We just reached it. And you can see it's kicking off some minor B flares in the B1 range. We're getting jiggy up in cycle 25. Hello! Cycle 25 has begun. Worldwide volcano news update. No significant eruptions. Popo, Sange, Swanosima. Swanosima, flight level 500 feet, 5,000 feet. I can't even smell that. Popo puffing to 27,000. Sange to 22,000. That's all we got to say. We're deep in. Trudeau and Johnson say they have intelligence Iran shot down the Ukrainian airliner. And they did. We have video. We have the documents and the video. Which is really not, it's kind of a schmidio. But we'll see if we can play it for you. This video appears to show the missile that hit the object, which is a plane, which is carrying 187 people, 140 of which are Canadian.
U.S. officials.
Anyway, I'm not going to play it for you because it just shows people dying. So, sad news coming out of that. And this is all due to the military-industrial complex. It has nothing to do with you, CO2, or climate change. It has to do with world governments and large multinational corporations playing a game of risk in the country where they would rather kill people to make money than give a about you. So, if you're still buying into that ruse and you're ready to go vote on vote day and you go lobby and you go do those town halls, it doesn't matter and you're wasting your life. You should be learning how to grow food. You should be stockpiling dry goods and learning how to wildcraft and survive on your own, because soon you're going to need those skills No one is coming to help you. They will come to take your guns and corral you to a smart city. But if you're properly prepared, they will be in no way able to get anywhere near your perimeter or your supplies. Survive and thrive. Celebrities, activists using Australian bushfire crisis to push the dangerous climate change myth. Thank you, Miranda Devine, for sticking up for what we put down. Celebrities and posturing greenies the world over have seized the opportunity of Australia's bushfire catastrophe to push the dangerous myth that CO2 is warming the planet and lighting fires on its own. Not pyromaniacs or poor policy decisions for decades by astards that know nothing about forest management and everything about saving the koalas. Make no mistake, the tragedy unfolding in Australia is climate change based, said Russell Crowe, who can suck it. Australia's on fire, tweeted teenage climate evangelist Greta Thunberg, who can suck it. Australia's committing climate suicide, ran the headline in the New York Times, which is fake news. Hello. Which is why you're watching us, because we're going to give you the facts, scientific facts. The facts are in. The GFS models are showing amazing amounts of precipitation over the big pond over in Australia. Here we can see around the perimeter where most of the fires are burning. Over the next 2 weeks, a significant amount of precipitation is predicted using the GFS models and advanced mathematics. And here we can see in the hardest hit area down here in the southeast that up to 1 to 2 inches of rain are predicted through January 24th, which will quelch many of these out-of-control fires, which is great news for all those people on the ground. They'll finally be able to breathe and go kick the greenies' asses that cause these fires. And that's tonight's second boom. Go get them. Please. But keep calm. And do it after it rains. As the ice melts, Greenland considers its future. Is the U.S. going to buy it? Is it because climate change is... Did you know that Greenland is a ruse? It's almost none of it's green. Iceland is green, and Greenland is ice. But if you're not even at that level, I don't even know why you're watching the show. Because you probably don't even know you could just go up into the bar there where the websites are and just type in, is Greenland green and Iceland ice? And you get an answer. If you didn't know that, I'm going to blow your mind. Just go up into that bar and type any question you want. Like, are fat people happier? Go type that question up there. Any question you ever wanted to know, you can type up in that bar. It's called the search bar. You don't have to be at Google to do it. You can just go right up into the top of the screen where the bar is with the website and type anything. You could type, I'm really lonely and need a friend, and it will give you some answers. Go see a therapist. As the ice melts, Greenland considers its future. I consider who wrote this. Oh, the BBC. Yeah. Well, no one is capable of actually looking at what's happening in Greenland, apparently, except a very few really smart scientists that know where this website is, which is the Danish Meteorological Institute, which has dozens of stations on the ice sheet, which is telling us that as of today, 5 gigatons of ice built in the last 24 hours. 5 gigatons in the last 24 hours. Mass ice gain. 5 gigatons. That'll fill more than your freezer, by the way. There is no catastrophe in Greenland. Ice is growing at record levels. Now, plastic packaging ban could harm the environment. Yeah, because paper products are more dangerous than plastic, according to this article. I mean, if the disinformation is complete, the CIA won, and they're big winners here. More sharp from the BBC. Ocean acidification does not impair the behavior of coral reefs. Actual science! We're going to get Jennifer Murahasi back on here. We're going to talk about this paper and more, if you care. Apparently only less than 6,000 people even watched that interview, which could be one of the most important interviews of the decade on actual scientific facts. But you would rather just see my intro and big booms and me curse and make funny jokes. Because it's not the content that matters. You're just here to be entertained. So please, I implore you, turn my channel off and go over to Netflix, where you can blend into the other schmucks that don't give a fuck just like you. Study shows animal life thriving in Fukushima. Yeah. Fukushima, we're all dying. Fukushima, it's in California, we're all dead. Fukushima. If you watch those channels, if you're on Facebook in those groups, you're dupes. I don't know if you're aware, but there are radioactive elements all over the planet naturally occurring. They fall from the earth. Every time we have a magnetic reversal, we get completely buried in radioactive dust. Barium, carbon-14, all types of shit. Beryllium falls right on our heads. At some point, there will be radioactive dust covering your vehicles, your plants, and your soil. It's not going to be from chemtrails or some other nonsense you made up. Because you went outside one day and you said, I saw that. It's a contrail. I've never seen anything like that ever before. And I don't have time to look into it. But this study shows that the biome around Fukushima is flourishing because you know what? There's no more people. The people affect the biome, not the radioactivity. These creatures don't give up about the radioactivity. They've already adapted. It's the nature of biology to adapt to extreme conditions and to, yes, I'm going to say it, evolve through the adaptation. This term was coined a long time ago, decades ago, by Niles Eldredge and others at Princeton. It's called an exaptation, and it has to do with punctuated equilibria and the reworking of the theory of evolution, which is not gradual and is in no way the survival of the fittest. It is the survival of the weirdest and the most accidental. Punctuated equilibria says that there will be instantaneous mutation that suits a species in its current cosmogenic climb. Now, as we enter into more radioactive and severe environments with more cosmic rays, things will mutate. And those that survive and thrive in that local biome or that ecological niche will be the new species while the other dies out. And when we see this in the geologic record, it shows as a boundary layer where there is no more of people below and there is all of new species above, because of the new cosmogenic regime that we've entered. And out of the 8 billion people on the planet, there's probably less than 7.9 billion that will make it. That's how stupid of a species we've become. Indoctrinated by the mainstream media, multinational corporations, and the society that has propped us up on their BS, their misinformation. Kept you a slave, and now you have to work the rest of your life for some jackass that you could give two shits about to barely live off of pennies and get some shitty health care and die of gangrene in the hospital. It's the world we created. You created. I left that world. I'm creating my own world right here on less than 50 acres. Because that's all you really need. If you've got wood and water and knowledge, please don't be a Neil Tyson deGrasse. I'm trying to do it. I can't close this. I'm sorry. Trove of new bird species found on remote Indonesian island. Massive volcanic eruptions and pollution in Indonesia. And yet, thousands of species still undiscovered. And now the bad news. Geologists find rare earth element-bearing rocks in the Mojave Desert. And this once pristine area is now going to be obliterated by multinational corporations and mining contracts, handed over by the big tops of the government, like the president and senators and shit, for your benefit. While you'll probably be taxed while they pollute the entire groundwater, the environment, and everything else and blame you for warming the earth while they destroy it. It's a great plan, man. Scientists have extended the lifespan of tubeworms and other creatures by 500%. And I'm sure rich elites are getting this shit injected into their gonads right now. And good for them. I hope it hurts. Because if you didn't realize that the time you were given is the time you were given, and the situations you have are all a learning mission that you're on. And the reason why Jimmy got hit by a bus because he was texting is because he's part of the plan, and he was supposed to get hit by that bus. The reason you didn't get hit by the bus is because you watched a program that said don't text and walk across the street. So you're on a different level than Jimmy. Some of us are on much higher planes, much more esoteric planes, and we're trying to help others get to that apex. Don't be Jimmy. Scientists have genetically modified trees to stop them releasing a gas linked to climate change. Well, first of all, the gas in question is not even CO2. And genetically modifying trees is absolutely going to eliminate all life on Earth. They're screwing with the biome in ways that they have not even vetted or tested. The precautionary principle is not used any longer because multinational corporations control the narrative. Your near future is going to involve runaway viruses created by man, dangerous plant mutations that kill whole groups or countries because it was not tested on what its effects are. Which is why we implore you all to get off of this broken model. The food in those stores that are called supermarkets are poisonous, and a small percentage of it is untested. You don't even know if what you're eating has a portion of that untested material. In a decade or so, the zombie apocalypse is more than possible. It's probable, maybe even guaranteed, and why we've been fed this narrative for quite some time. Which is why you need to learn how to defend yourself and provide for yourself in the event of a grid down scenario. It's anyone's guess how this will roll out, but I can assure you, the first thing to occur is the global markets collapse. It may be kicked off by a solar flare that destroys portions of the grid. But after that, portions of the grid will fry. And that will continue. As crops worldwide for the masses go offline, those that do not grow their own food and hunt will start to starve. And it will get very bleak, especially in a time where there's no communication. Only those with ham radio or other expertise in communication will be able to talk to anyone outside the region. Stores will not be open. There will be no fuel for travel. Unless you have a horse or a bike, you won't be able to go anywhere unless you walk. And now they're unleashing genetically modified trees on our biome without our permission. I do not consent. No one asked me. Did they ask you? Jupiter is flinging comets towards Earth. And with a waning magnetosphere, that's bad news. Read the article. We're going long. North Carolina tower swears its new water tower is not a giant bomb. But you could have fooled me. Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, as a bomb tower. Hello! Did a military experimental vaccine in 1918 kill 50 to 100 million people and blamed as the Spanish flu? Who knew? Article below. Ancient Viking runestone warned of extremely ominous climate crisis. Yes, cooling, death, famine, destruction, all on this rock. Check the link. More amazing facts coming from the Grolier Codex. This is the oldest manuscript ever found in the Americas. It's almost 1,000 years old. Once considered a hoax, now proven to be 100% factual and real. And 1,000 years ago, the Mayans had ancient astronomical knowledge beyond any knowledge within the last few hundred. You have been lied to. Linear is a lie. The linear lie of history and us getting smarter and smarter, and now we are here today, is so much BS that I can't even keep it down. Just 900 years ago, we were geniuses at permaculture, at society, at astronomy and astrology, natural healing, sustainability. And that's all being retold to you in their own narrative now, how they want it to roll out. They own everything. They want to own all genetics and all life, and they want to own you because they do. You know why your name is capitalized on your license, on your driver's license? Because you're a commodity owned by the state. Not a single person in this world is free until the revolution begins. And then we'll all be free. Shape-shifting reptilian overlords distance themselves from Prince Andrew. Why shouldn't they? He probably tastes disgusting. Lekan Gaia 4/4/2020. Rex Bear, Esoteric Connection. Brian Forster, Hidden Technology. Leah Shaper, Linear is a Lie. Diamond, that's me. Catastrophic Geology. Cosmic Conspiracy. Adrian D'Amico, Global Manipulation. From the Rip. Are you ready for the facts? Hope you got something out of the video. Tickets for LeakCon will be on sale soon. The models are showing snow in Florida. It's anyone's guess how it will roll out. Enjoy the warmth, Southeast. Because in a week it's over.